What's up and good evening? I hope you guys are ready to have a good night tonight and showtime, as Keith Brooks would say. And very much looking forward to the stream with you guys tonight. Do me a favor as you guys are joining. Let me know, where are you watching from? Where is it that you are watching from? Also, if you haven't done so already, hit the like button on the video. Somebody saying happy birthday. My birthday is November 13th, so it's coming around the bend. Thank you for the early birthday wishes. We have Justin from Columbus, Ohio. Carson tuning in from Tennessee. David from Louisiana. Thank you guys for tuning in. Blue Aqua from Texas. Good evening from St. Louis, Missouri. Thank you, Sherry, for tuning in. We have Scotty from Minnesota in the house. Phoenix in the house. Jacksonville, Texas, Georgia. Go Braves, they say. Jenny from Arkansas. April from the Mississippi Gulf Coast. Thank you guys for joining. If you haven't answered the poll question too, go ahead and answer that question, because I know it's a case that we briefly went over the timeline earlier, and I don't know a whole lot about it. I'm still learning about it because we spent so much time sort of studying this other case. I haven't really done a deep dive on that particular case, but if you guys don't mind answering the question that we put in the poll, because I want to sort of see your perspective. It was, do you think Summer Wells will be found? And 43% are saying yes, and about 58% of you are saying no. And so keep voting if you haven't voted already. Look, we have Colorado, Ireland, Connecticut. Thank you guys for tuning in. Linda says, my birthday is November 12th. Well, happy almost same birthday as me. Mine's the 13th, November 13th. I was not born on Friday the 13th. Happy birthday, Tyler. Be coming around the corner. Virginia, Mississippi, Alabama. Kim says, welcome. Great to see everyone. It is great to see all of you. Pueblo, Colorado. I live in Kansas, Halloween Mom says, and from Ohio. Okay, great. Erie, Pennsylvania, St. Louis, Toronto in the house. And so what I wanted to do tonight, and listen, we'll continue. By the way, look, I got the new Feller Fam hoodie on for people who are part of the Feller Fam. If you're interested in picking that up, let me know. I think it's cool. I like the colors. It turned out really well. But I wanted to do something tonight that's a little bit different. We're going to continue to cover the case that we've been covering and sort of do a deep dive on it and all of that. And we need to continue to do that and look at it from a really good perspective. And again, the anthropologist had said, the forensic anthropologist had said, it will take 7 to 14 days for them to determine the results on that. So within the next 2 to 3 days max, we should have results from the forensic anthropologist about sort of their findings on Brian Laundrie's remains. And so I am very interested in seeing what those results are. And whenever we get those results, we'll share those. And of course, any other developments that come out, we'll share those. It's sort of been since our last stream. There really hasn't been anything to talk about. There's not been any news stories on it. Brian Denton sort of did his thing whenever he was in Moab and whenever he was at the Grand Tetons, and we covered that. And so if anything comes out, I definitely want to talk about it. If Joe Petito or somebody like that wants to come on the show, we'll definitely have them and talk about it. But something I wanted to do tonight, I wanted to take a little bit of a different spin, was according to public interest, like what are sort of the 5 stories right now that's getting the most sort of public interest when we look at missing people from across America? Because I think that's one thing that this whole case sort of started on. Gabby was a missing person. Everybody sort of put their energy into that. Like, where is she at? Where could she be? What's happened? And then as we got deeper into that, then we, found the remains of her body, which was unfortunate. It's not the result any of us wanted. But then the manhunt began for Brian Laundrie, and he was a missing person. And it was so incredible to see a community of people all around the internet going to find Gabby and going to find Brian and searching for all of the clues about that. And so there's a passion, I think, from people in the internet world that is saying, like, listen, we care about people who are missing, and we didn't realize that it was this big of a deal in the United States. And California has the most missing cases out of anywhere, but it also has a large population, the largest population. So kind of makes sense in a way, but it's kind of skewed. They have far more missing people percentage wise too. But anyways, so when we think about it, We have a lot of missing people in America, and it's something that people don't talk about. It's an issue that we need to talk about and dive deep into. And the thing is, like, some of these people that are missing, it's very likely that they're missing and they're still alive. And I think of several cases of missing people who they were missing, and yet they were found alive. In fact, I have an article I was going to show you guys too. I'll just go ahead and go to that real fast. That shows us missing people who were found alive. We have Amanda Eller was found 2 weeks after disappearing in a forest on Maui. Amanda was a 35-year-old yoga instructor and physical therapist. She became lost while she was on a hike in the Makawao Forest Reserve in Maui, Hawaii on May 8th of 2019. On May 25th, they found her. She was walking barefoot between two waterfalls and waving her arms. They described this encounter as unbelievable. She had minor injuries. She had lost 15 pounds, but she was in stable condition. So there's a case when somebody was lost, they were able to find them. Jamie Kloss asked a woman walking her dog for help. So nearly 13 months after her parents were shot and killed in the Wisconsin home in October of 2018, investigators found their missing 13-year-old daughter, Jamie Kloss, more than 60 miles away from where she disappeared. They found her 13 months later. Here's another one. Jan Broberg was abducted twice, 1974 and 1976, by the same person. When he took her in 1976, he made it look like she ran away from home. Then we see authorities found a missing woman alive 7 days after her car plunged off a cliff. Here's another one. Rescuers found a boys soccer team. Anybody remember this? 9 days after they were trapped in a cave. So, and there's obviously some really famous cases about this too, but there's plenty of cases that we can go back and we can research, and they were um, they were missing and they were found. Anybody remember the case of Elizabeth Smart? Elizabeth Smart was saved from her kidnapper by her little sister. It's one of the most high-profile child abductions in modern times. Elizabeth Smart's kidnapping was talked about all over America. I was just a little kid, but I remember it. In 2002, a former handyman hired by Smart's parents broke into their home. Brian David Mitchell, who'd gone by Emmanuel to the Smart family, abducted Smart while she slept in the bed next to her younger sister, Mary Catherine, who pretended to be asleep so the intruder would not harm them. Only 14 years old, Smart was taken from her home for 9 months. And it wasn't until then that Mary Catherine realized the man who'd entered their bedroom was, in fact, Emmanuel. When police released a sketch of the handyman, which appeared on Larry King Live and America's Most Wanted, Mitchell's family recognized his likeness and provided the police with additional photos. While walking on the street, disguised in a wig and a veil, someone recognized Mitchell and his accomplice, Wanda. The police were notified, and Smart was reunited with her family. Okay? Does anybody, I remember that case like it was yesterday. Does anybody remember this other case of the missing Cleveland women who were saved from their kidnapper because of a neighbor? That was broke headlines in 2013. I remember that really clearly too. Commonly referred to as the Cleveland Abductions, the story of serial kidnapper Ariel Castro broke headlines in 2013. For nearly 11 years, Michelle Knight, Amanda Berry, and Georgina De Jesus were imprisoned by Castro, who repeatedly beat and assaulted them. You got to be careful with the words you use because YouTube will get you. Barry even bore Castro's child. Because the women were considered runaways by police, their cases were never thoroughly investigated. It wasn't until 2013 when Castro's neighbor, Charles Ramsey heard Knight, Barry, and De Jesus crying for help inside the house, that officials realized they were not runaways. And with the help of other neighbors, Ramsey broke down into the cellar door and freed the women inside. So you guys remember that? There's the case of Philip Cesarego, who faked his own death. There's Stephen Strayer, who escaped the child predator. There's Gabriel Nagy, who lost his memory and then disappeared. There's more cases than this. There's cases that I remember that are not even on here. There was a case, I think the guy's name was Sean Hornbeck, and he got abducted and then was brought back to his house. So I mean, there's like case after case after case after case of times whenever people were missing and then they were eventually found again. And so what I want to do tonight is sort of shed some light on some of these cases and get your feedback on it. And I think it's really important that we talk about it. I think it's really important that we have conversations about some of this. So it's amazing that these people survived and made it through. And I think some of the people that we're going to be talking about are potentially alive. And if we can do anything about it, if we can raise sort of the bar on it, have a conversation about it, and let people know that there are people that are missing that need to be found, and we might hold the key, then let's do that. Let's keep the heat going. All right. Hey, if you're just tuning in and you haven't done so yet, would you mind doing me a favor, hitting the like button on the video? When you do that, it shoots us out into the YouTube algorithm. Only about 30% of you guys so far have hit the like button. About half of you have voted in the poll, so thank you for voting in the poll. But if you don't mind, also hit the like button on the video. Subscribe to this channel if you haven't. I'm hoping sometime this week I can cross into the 40,000 subscriber threshold. Wouldn't that be cool? Like, it blows my mind if that happens, but wouldn't that be cool if that happens? So anyways, this is the first case that I wanted to show you guys. It's the case of a Texas State student named Jason Landry. He was headed home on Christmas break. His father's a pastor, and they found his clothes in the middle of the road, and they haven't been able to find him. And so it's a short video, but I want to play it, and let's talk about it.
For highlighting unsolved cases around the country in our Missing in America series. And our focus this week is a case in Texas where a family and a community are still waiting for answers after Texas State University student Jason Landry disappeared 10 months ago. Police say the 21-year-old went missing in December after crashing his car on his way home to Missouri City, Texas. That car was found abandoned with his keys still in the ignition. And his father will not stop until he finds his son. News Nation correspondent Marky Martin is joining us tonight live with a preview of her story. Marky.
Yeah, good evening, Marnie. This is truly one of those mysteries that we may never have all the answers to. And that's exactly why we do these Missing in America segments, to shed light on cases that need explaining. But you're right, Jason went missing last Christmas. He leaves school to drive home for the holidays, and he never makes it there. In fact, authorities found his car in the middle of nowhere. Just wait till you see this story, so far off the main highway, but absolutely no sign of Jason. And here in the past couple of weeks, we have spent ample time with his parents. We went out with a search party that went out once again with drones, with people, horses, canine units, just to find any shred of evidence that they could. And specifically, we've spent a lot of time with Jason's father, Kent Landry, and we went walking down that very road where his son went missing from. Here's a sneak peek of tomorrow night.
So I got here early. It was like 5 in the morning, and there's no one out. There's no police officers looking because the police officer had gone to bed.
And are you like, where are the crews? I mean,
It was very weird because I was expecting to come to, I mean, I've been to plenty of crime scenes, and I was expecting police and searchers, and there was no one. The thing as a parent, you visualize your child walking down a dirt road in the middle of nowhere, not knowing anyone, looking for help. And that's the part that hurts. Yeah. So that stays with you.
as you can tell, the family's grief, the family's confusion is palpable. This is a case that has stuck with me and my crew, and I think it will with viewers as well. So tomorrow night, we're going to bring you the full story.
So what do you guys think about that case? For whatever reason, there's a lot of interest around that case, and I find it to be really interesting. Do you think he's alive? Type yes or no in the comment section. Let me know if you think he's alive or not. I know I was muted, but I shouldn't be muted now. Okay. People are coming in. So no. Amy's saying yes. Gina's saying yes. Sapphire Blue saying probably not. A lot of you guys are saying no. Kim saying maybe. Oh, Kim, you're reserving your opinion. I like that. This is one where it seems like he's likely not alive. Seemed like a good kid all the way around, possibly, right? And something just happened. If he is alive, he might be like one of those other cases where there was memory loss. So his name's Jason Landry, and 21 years old, on the way home from college break, ended up just being a really difficult situation. So that's one of the top 5 based sort of on public interest. And I feel really bad for that family. So I'm going to go down to just another one. These are in no specific order. The next one that I'm thinking of is a mom, a football mom.
The search for a missing mom in the LA area. Police searching her home and family members asking for the public's help in finding her, describing the mysterious circumstances surrounding her disappearance.
This morning, an urgent search underway in Los Angeles for a missing mother, Heidi Plank, who seemingly vanished nearly 2 weeks ago. Overnight, her ex-husband opening up to GMA.
It's rough. This is a tough one.
LAPD officers at her home Friday night combing for evidence. This security footage from October 17th showing the 39-year-old mom the day she went missing, leaving home with her dog, later attending her 10-year-old son's football game. Her ex-husband, James Wayne, saying she left the game early.
She may have been a little bit edgy. I don't know, but I just know that was the last time that we spoke to her.
3 days later, Plank did not show up to pick up her son from school. Wayne, who shares custody of their son, knew something was wrong.
She doesn't let a day go by without either a text message or a phone call, even if she was really busy.
And in an unusual twist, ABC station KBC is reporting that Plank's dog was found on the same day Plank disappeared. The dog reportedly found wandering around on an upper floor of a high-rise apartment building in downtown Los Angeles.
People are very, very attached to their pets, and their pets do not just go missing. There clearly is something out of place here.
I found this to be a really strange situation. I don't understand it. There has to be a lot more details to this case. So we have a mom who was last seen sort of going to the football game of her 10-year-old son, disappears from the football game, never really to be seen or heard from again. They find the dog. All of it was a really strange situation to me. Do you think that she's alive? Yes or no? Just go ahead and put it in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this case, the missing football mom. I don't know what kind of search they're doing for her. It just feels like a little bit of a fishy situation. I don't know if she had met some friends that she shouldn't have been hanging out with. Like, I don't know the whole story around what was happening, but this one seems like a really interesting case. I don't know how old she was. On this one, I would lean more towards that she's more likely to be alive than the previous one. I would say abducted and possibly human trafficked or even something like that on this situation, but I don't know for sure. Like, I'm just saying things. They said she was 39, so I don't know. I don't know. I want more details on this one too, and I watched a few videos on it. Heidi Plank is her name, and so Jen B saying yes, she thinks she's still alive. Mama B saying yeah. Jeanette was saying no. By the way, shout out to all the people who are a part of the Feller fam. I'm so happy that I see you guys in there. I love the Feller fam. If we get 25 more people in the Feller fam, then they let us have a new emoji. And so I'm excited about that. I don't know. It doesn't seem like we'll hit it tonight, but you never know. We might hit it tonight if some people just get really passionate about what we're doing here, the community that we're building. And by the way, those of you who are on Facebook and you're a part of the Feller Fam, I'd love for you to join us on the Feller Fam Facebook group. You need to be an actual part of the Feller Fam to be it. Once you join the Feller Fam, there's a link to it in our membership section, and then it will send you into there. But if we get 25 more, we get a new emoji. I think that would be so awesome. Okay, so in the case of Heidi, a lot of you guys were saying you don't think she's alive. A couple of you guys were saying you do think that she was alive. Okay, now the next case is 2 kids. And this one's sad to me.
And we continue our Missing in America series tomorrow night with the heartbreaking story of Orson and Oren West. The 2 brothers, just 3 and 4 years old, went missing days before Christmas last year. Their adoptive parents say they were last seen in the yard, but months have gone by and authorities are, for the most part, staying silent. A group of loved ones is determined to keep this story in the spotlight. News Nation's Nancy Liu has a preview of this week's report from California City, California.
Where are Oren and Orson West? Bakersfield police have been on this case for months and insist it is not cold. But as of this week, the young brothers have been missing for 10 months. The backyard of this home in California City is said to be the last place where the 2 brothers were seen right before Christmas. Oren and Orson would now be 5 and 4 years old. Their adoptive parents told police that the boys were playing out back on the afternoon of December 21st, but the brothers were gone when they went out to check on them later. Bakersfield police have taken over the investigation and admit they are keeping the majority of their evidence under wraps. The adoptive parents have since moved and are no longer talking, but others linked to the case have plenty to say.
They might not remember me, but I remember them, and I'll show them. Like, it don't matter how long it takes, how hard it's going to be. I won't give up. I will never give up.
We have repeatedly investigated all plausible events that occurred, and the investigation is not done. We have not recovered the boys.
Tomorrow night, we're in California City to look into the case of Oren and Orson West, 2 young brothers missing in America.
Join Marnie Hughes, Nancy.
So what did you guys think about that case? By the way, shout out to Charmaine. Charmaine, thank you for becoming a member of the Feller Fam. And shout out to Lily for becoming a member of the Feller Fam. Lily with 2 L's. That's how you spell my little cousin Lily's name. And so glad to have you a part of the Feller Fam. Moonstone, you're saying let's pray. We're going to pray for all these people that are missing before the night's up. But man, this was a really terrible situation. Diane saying the biological family took them alive. I mean, I don't know much about the case. I'm learning about all of these cases. I know that the cousin, biological cousin or whatever was in that interview. Our biological relative was in that interview. So I found that to be interesting. But do you guys think they're alive? Type yes or no in the comment section. Let me know what you're thinking. Somebody just emailed me and said, quit asking that question. Do you think they'll be found? Maybe that's the next question I should ask. I don't know. I want to know, the whole point is that we can find them alive. And then if I asked, do you think we'll be able to find them? Then what would happen would be you guys would say to me, that's the wrong question. So if they're alive, then we can search for them. Shout out to Elizabeth, by the way, who just picked up 2 copies of The Don't Stop book. The Don't Stop book releases in about 2 weeks on November 16th. I'm super excited about it. Cannot wait for it to come out. And I'm so grateful to so many of you that made a decision to purchase it. Really excited about that. Lori says, unfortunately, I don't think these precious boys are alive. I hope they are. I don't know much about this story, and I don't know much about the biological family, but it's one of those ones that I think does need to be sort of unpacked. Orson and Oren West, they were living in some kind of foster situation. So it's one of those, like, definitely one of those stories that we need to sort of pull out and talk more about. Okay. The next one is sort of, I think there's some more information on it just because the location of it, and it involves a guy named Cayenne.
Grand Teton National Park, 310,000 acres, almost the size of Connecticut. Beautiful, a tourist destination for hikers and travelers from all over the world. And right now, one mother is combing through it, looking for her son. Kian McLaughlin has been missing since June 8th. He was last seen in the park going out for a hike. And while retracing Gabby Petito's final days, our correspondent Brian Enton got a chance to speak with Kian's mom, here all the way from Ireland, trying to bring her son home.
When we met Grania McLaughlin, she was in her son's Kian's car after finishing another exhausting day hiking, searching for the 27-year-old in Wyoming's Grand Teton National Park.
Do you have any idea what may have happened?
I do not. At this stage, we have absolutely no idea. We're trying to kind of understand what might have happened.
Originally from Ireland, Kian was living in Jackson, Wyoming, working as a snowboard instructor and bartender. He's been missing in Grand Teton since June 8th, when he was hiking on the Lupine Meadows Trail. A witness saw him around 3:45 in the afternoon, but he's not been seen since.
We're really appealing to anybody who is in the park on June 8th, 9th or 10th to look back at their videos, their photographs. They may have caught Kian in the background. Or if you had met Kian, he's got a very distinctive Irish accent also.
Kian is Grania's only child, and she is determined to find him. He was an experienced outdoorsman, but the conditions on the trail were particularly dangerous in early June. There was melting snow and ice.
Back in June, we were told that this was not a rescue anymore, that it was definitely a recovery, which is very hard to hear. But I just felt the need to come back here to the Grand Teton and connect with him and to do more ground searching myself.
When you're hiking in that area, do you feel a connection to him?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, I know he's there and I want to bring him home.
And with winter coming, Grania's worried she could be running out of time to bring Kian home to Ireland. In Jackson, Wyoming, Brian Enton, News Nation.
So, what do you guys think about that case? Are there going to be good results to that case? Type yes if you think so, no if you don't. Do you think there'll end up being good results to that case? Yes if you think so, no if you don't. If whoever's telling me to check my Facebook Messenger, that's not a good place to message me. I have thousands of messages in there that I don't even know how to look at them, to be honest with you. Oh man, almost all of you guys are saying no on this situation. Pretty much everyone's saying like this is not. It's like 99% of you guys are saying this is not going to be a favorable outcome. Avery says, oh, I'm going to say yes because I want to be optimistic. I have a big problem with being overly optimistic. So I'm always like, yeah, I believe, and I never stop believing. I don't stop believing ever. April, what's up? Welcome to the Feller fam. Thank you for joining us. You join Charmaine and Lily. If we get 25 people tonight, or in the next couple of days, hopefully tonight, but maybe by tomorrow, then we'll be able to have a new emoji, which I think would be pretty cool. Though everybody who keeps telling me to type a poll or like do a poll, like it's not easy for me to do a poll. So I'm not doing a poll quite yet. It's like it's not like an easy process because I'm not on YouTube. I'm using a different platform. And then when I go on YouTube, it causes my whole computer to start acting up. So, and I can't do a poll on my iPad for some reason. So I'm just stuck with not being able to do a poll. Only thing I can do for my iPad is send myself a super chat, which I've done a couple of times. So April, I just noticed you joined the producer level. That's great. Occasionally we have producer level and up Feller Fam streams, and those are so great. Anybody who's been a part of them, they love it. It's always been so great. Seems like people go missing and the Tetons don't be found alive. Yeah, it sort of seems like that. So unfortunately. Okay, the next case I know is sort of a it's one of those cases where everyone's heard about it, and this is like when it first happened. And I'm just going to say this, like, I know that this is an incredibly contentious case. There's so many twists and turns on it. Very controversial. So, and I'm learning a lot about it, and it's just a crazy case. But this video, in case you're new to this case, this video is from the very beginning, sort of like when it first
The second night, a massive search continues for 5-year-old Summer Wells, the focus of a statewide Tennessee Amber Alert.
Tonight, word from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation that the agency has received about 30 tips from the public. Good evening, I'm Sarah Diamond.
And I'm Josh Smith. TBI tonight also made a point of saying there is no suspect in the case and no vehicle description tonight. Earlier today, the sheriff of Hawkins County, Ronnie Lawson, said there's no reason to indicate foul play. He said Summer's family is cooperating in the search. The last news conference held around 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Again, Summer Wells is 5 years old. TBI says she's 3 feet tall, weighs about 40 pounds. They continue to think she could still be wearing the gray pants and pink shirt in which she was last seen. If you see her, call 1-800-TBI-FIND.
Our coverage continues with Bianca Murray. She's right on the Hawkins County, Sullivan County line. That's about 3 miles away from a command post near Ben Hill Road in the Beach Creek community where Summer was last seen. Bianca, what are you seeing out there tonight?
Josh and Sarah, investigators say they are still searching for 5-year-old Summer Wells nearly 30 hours after she was reported missing. Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson today told us over 100 people were out searching for Summer, who was last seen wearing a pink shirt and gray shorts, and she was also believed to be barefoot. The sheriff said authorities need help searching the area to find the little girl, but the TBI asked neighbors to share any footage from trail or security cameras with police and check any outbuildings or crawl spaces to see if they can find Summer.
What makes it so hard is the communication between the boots on the ground, searching the woods, and the different agencies and officers, and it's very hard to communicate.
The Beach Creek community where Summer lives has assembled a mural of balloons, ribbons, and even stuffed animals as symbols of their prayers for her safe return.
This tragedy has hit the whole community, not just part of it. Everyone's concerned about this little girl. Everyone is wanting her to be returned safely, to be found quickly. And all of our hearts go out to the mother and to the family.
The TBI tonight really.
So the TBI, by the way, is the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. So this is one of those cases where there's a whole lot to it that seems really fishy to me. What do you guys think? Should we go after a search for Summer? Is there going to be a favorable outcome? Yes or no? Let me know what your thoughts are about this. Is there foul play involved? I don't know a lot about it. I know there's people who know a lot about it. I don't know as much about it as many of you guys do, but this is one of those cases we need to find the answers out regardless of the situation. Like we really need to get to the bottom of it. And this one's, I think there's going to be a lot more yeses on this case than some of the others that we had looked at. Shannon says, no favorable outcome. Avery says, found, yes, outcome. I don't know. I don't think it will be favorable, but justice needs to be served. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. It seems like this is just a really terrible situation. I also noticed that when we started covering this case, our attendance dropped quite a bit. Here's another case, and I don't want to play this whole video, but
He
about the
vanished in
first half
June,
of
but
it
his
is
case
good.
is just now.
A guy by the name of Daniel Robinson.
Capturing headlines across the nation. Daniel Robinson's disappearance has captivated and disturbed the country. We are taking a look into the active case in this special edition of True Crime Chronicles.
On June 23rd, 2021, Daniel Robinson, a 24-year-old geologist working in Arizona, leaves his job site. He drives west into the desert. That's the last time anyone hears from Daniel.
We are going to do everything we possibly can to locate Daniel.
The Buckeye Police Department conducts 2 searches of the area, but their investigation uncovers no evidence. However, on July 20th, a rancher finds Daniel's Jeep wrecked only 2 miles from his job site.
Yeah, that's wild.
Immediately when I saw the vehicle, I noticed there was something that wasn't right with it.
Buckeye police say the Jeep's black box shows that Daniel drove in excess of 30 miles per hour when he crashed, rolling the vehicle over, causing the airbags to deploy. However, a private investigation into the data disputes the police claims. It suggests that the Jeep was traveling under 30 miles per hour when the airbags deployed. Data from the Jeep also shows that, after the crash, someone tried to start the engine over 40 times before driving it an additional 7 miles following the crash.
Did they not
The
know how to
damage
start a car?
didn't match with the terrain and where it was laying, and that this looked like a staged event to me.
Despite police finding no evidence during their investigation, searches by David Robinson, Daniel's father, and volunteers recovered the remains of 6 other people. Unfortunately, these bodies are unrelated to Daniel's disappearance. As summer turns to autumn, the search continues with no trace of Daniel.
I'm not going to give up. I'm not leaving until I see him again.
We invited Daniel's dad, David, to talk about the case, which as of this taping is still ongoing. Here is what he had to say.
I was in Los Angeles this weekend with my kids, and I flew in early, and I asked them to hold this interview so I could speak with you because I can't, you have no idea how strong you are, and I just want to say that on behalf of DBL and everybody watching, we appreciate you. And with that, I'm going to give you the stage. Talk to the world. Tell us about Daniel.
Well, first of all, Daniel, he's such a very intelligent young man. You know, ever since he was a kid, he also is a son that like to challenge things. Like, for instance, if he has something that he want to do, he can make sure he accomplishes that goal. You know, my son been born without a hand, so you know, automatically some people would think that's a challenge for him. Daniel, he refused to wear things like prosthetics, so you know. At earlier age, we knew that there was something, you know, special about Daniel. Daniel is the type of person that brings people together. For instance, my family, we could have some disagreements there. Daniel's like that bridge in the middle. He have a way of bringing people together. His friends would say the same. Family members would say the same. And if you look at this now, even when he's not here personally, he's bringing people together now.
Daniel sounds absolutely special and incredible.
So I found the Daniel Robinson case to be incredibly interesting. Who even knows what happened? And sort of like that case we were reading before, it's like with the vehicle, like who knows? Like, do you guys think that Daniel is still alive and is findable? Let me know in the comments with either yes or no. By the way, AZ Native, you said thank you for including Daniel Robinson. Thank you so much for the super chat. And by the way, this was not just the top 5 people. We went ahead and covered 6 people. So it was a little bit of a bonus. Top 6 people, top 5 plus a bonus. And I don't know who the bonus was because I said it was in no particular order, but I'd set out to cover 5. And then whenever I started researching it and looking into it, I actually found 6 to go with. And so that's what ended up happening. Shout out to Lorraine. Lorraine, thank you for joining the Feller fam. A lot of you guys are saying no. Heartbreaking. Kathy says, I don't know enough to comment. So it just seems like a strange situation. He was a geologist. He was working somewhere in Arizona on the site. So, by the way, if you guys want to join the call, I pinned the link. There's a link that is pinned. So if you guys want to join the call, just go ahead and click on it. And I'd love to get your feedback on sort of what to cover, what you think, some good topics might be. Alice says, I think we need to unwind what happened to Daniel for the family's benefit. Evil needs stopped. I agree. Evil needs stopped, and maybe we're the people to do it. I don't know. I know that evil's scared of true light, and we are creatures of light. At least my hope is that most of the people on this stream want to be people of light. Shannon said this, which I found to be interesting. Tyler, God's using things like this to help others. Every time that investigation starts for a murder, other people are found and answers are given to the families. Well, it's really interesting that you say that. They found 6 other people's remains while they're searching for Daniel, and none of them ended up being the remains of Daniel. That blew my mind. Jen, how are you?
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. Avery sends a super chat and says, can you talk more about Daniel? I'm interested on this one. So I really am wondering what to cover. Thank you, Avery, for that super chat. What do you think, Jen?
So Daniel was one that I had shared. It piqued my interest a couple of weeks ago as I was kind of looking for other, opportunities. And Summer Wells is heartbreaking. So it's hard to say no to any, but Daniel really it's a mystery. And I just felt like his dad was so passionate around trying to find him. And I think these parents just need our help. So I'm not sure what, the outcome will be, but I do have some passion around this one.
The Summer Wells one seems really controversial. I can't tell you how many emails I got from people saying, do not cover this case. It is scandalous. It's not worth, what's going to come with it. So, and I don't know what that side of it is, but when you sort of read about some of the stuff that's happening with the family, it kind of is like,
The only thing I worry about with this, I saw the only real insight I have is I watched, I don't know if you've seen the behavioral panel on YouTube. And so they've covered this. They've actually interviewed him recently. I just feel like a lot of people have predetermined ideas of what had happened. And then I also feel like there's this family dynamic that you don't know what's true or not. So I wonder how easy it will be to unpack the truth of real facts versus just this family dynamic, if that makes sense.
I know. And it's so interwoven with all these underlying things. So
yeah.
I'm really interested. And my heart sort of leaning towards Daniel is like, maybe we should go in on that a little bit and sort of see what traction that could get, and if we can uncover anything, because it's so fascinating for me.
Yeah, and maybe, if there's real passion around maybe picking, I don't know if this is an option, but 2, and maybe we divide into 2 camps and try to really dig in wherever we can with the resources too. It's heartbreaking to choose it, to make a choice, but we need to, do that if we're going to help somebody. And I don't know enough about the case. I just saw the high level stuff out there, but anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Well, Jen, thank you for calling in.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Praise Adonai says, I'm glad to see you expanding your reach to others who need help. Keep up the good work. Thank you for the super chat. Praise Adonai. I really am praying through, like, Lord, what are you wanting me to do? How are you wanting me to proceed forward? And obviously still cover the case of Brian and Gabby as we need to. Avery, thank you for your super chat. You say Summer's dad was just arrested for the 2nd time in 24 hours this morning. It is such a messy case, not focusing on Summer, but more on the drama of the family. I think that's why people are interested in it, unfortunately, because there's so much drama attached to that case. I mean, obviously they're trying to find Summer as well, but there's a whole lot more to it that seems scandalous that piques people's interest. Happy Caffeinated Couple says, it's interesting how Summer Wells' parents speak of daughter in past tense, whereas Daniel's father speaks of him in present tense. Just an observation. Thank you, Happy Caffeinated Couple, for that super chat. That's something I didn't pick up on. And again, like, I'm just doing a first take at a lot of these cases because I'm busy and I don't feel well most of the time. And so most of my energy sort of went towards the Brian and Gabby situation. But Kim just sent me this. It says missing 24-year-old was rebuffed by woman shortly before his disappearance. So let's read this story. It's talking about the Daniel case. There's a 24-year-old geologist in Arizona who's been missing since June 23rd was rebuffed by a young woman in the week leading up to his disappearance, according to police records. Police reports obtained by News Nation show that Daniel Robinson had been texting with a woman named Caitlin. On June 22nd, the day before he was last seen, Robinson wrote his final message to her. The world can get better, but I'll have to take all the time I can or we can, whatever to name it. I'll either see you again or never see you again. That seems really cryptic to me. On June 20th, he told the woman he loved her, but he did not respond to the message directly. Daniel Robinson was last seen in his job site in Buckeye. His blue Jeep turned over a month later, flipped on its side with his wallet and his phone inside, but there was no sign of him. Daniel Robinson met Caitlin while delivering Instacart. He delivered liquor to Caitlin's home. She and her friend reportedly invited him in, and they exchanged phone numbers. So that's that situation. I find that to be intriguing without a doubt. So, Diane, how are you?
I'm doing well, Tyler. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for calling in today.
So the thing you just read on Daniel, I had seen that probably several days ago. And it actually says that after the girl gave him her phone number, he called her or texted her very often. And she had to get a little bit firm with him and just say, you know, it's not going anywhere else. You were really nice, but that's it. And then he sends her that note that almost sounds like a suicide note. I don't think he killed himself. I think he either had a wreck and then decided to make it look like he had. And I have no idea where he would be. But it's just too fishy with the car being started and driven so far and cranked so many times. And
40 times? I'm like, did they not know how to start a car or what?
Well, it was driven, I think it was 11 miles with the airbags deployed.
Yeah, I think they said 7.
Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, I didn't look it up today to verify it. And with the only thing, you know, I don't know too much about the little boys. I hadn't paid that much attention to the story because they were adopted by this couple who had also adopted 2 other children, plus had 2 kids of their own. Mm-hmm. And the state took them away. One of the little boys had a broken leg.
Oh.
Excuse me. And so very quickly, the birth mother said that they didn't even, you know, she was at work and she didn't know why. And so they were just taken away and put up for adoption. And of course, that's all you hear from her is that this happened and they were gone. And then she showed up at their house the very next day after the boys were missing. And they had moved across several states or something. So, you know, how'd she just show up there all of a sudden? So, but what I found, and I don't, you know, I'm not going to go into too much of this because it is very upsetting. Excuse me. Duty Run has a very long interview with a 15-year-old boy and his mother and grandmother he spent the day with Summer Wells and her family the day she went missing. Mm-hmm. And they had gone swimming, so she was in a swimsuit. He noticed that they had cut her hair off like a boy's. Mm-hmm. And he hadn't seen her with her hair like that before. And then he tells where they went, and the mother stopped and she got alcohol and gave it to the 15-year-old. She went to a
yeah, I don't know, Diane. Like, I don't even know if I want to talk about this because it's too the details of this case, I think, are just too scandalous for me on the
Yeah.
Summer Wells thing.
Yeah, this thing that really blew my mind was she called her drug dealer 39 times that day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
So
don't want to talk about.
yeah. So with people like Jason Landry,
Mm-hmm.
I think he has a head injury
Mm-hmm.
and he could be wandering anywhere. I mean, just to leave your car like that and there not be any other signs.
And his clothes was laying in the street.
Yeah. And he could be wandering out, in the brush or show up at someone's house, and because he's basically an adult.
I'm like, was it the clothes he was wearing and that's what was laying
No.
in the street?
Well, he could have taken off, like part of his clothing. Maybe he had a nosebleed and he took off his jacket or, the top shirt or something. But I have a feeling that, he's still alive. No idea on the woman with the dog.
That had you seen that story before?
No, I had
that
not.
one's wild, isn't it?
Unless the dog went in the building with someone and got on the elevator and rode up. I mean, none of it makes any sense. So.
I don't think people typically leave their dog,
No, but if she were grabbed off the street or something, still she would have had it on a leash or it would have been in her car.
I know. I don't. Super weird story.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate about that Kian McLaughlin.
Yeah.
That one, I'm like, I don't have.
Sounds like somebody who slipped and fell and they're going to find his body. I mean, it's very sad.
Yeah.
He sounded like a nice guy, but the ones that, if I had to choose two that I think are really interesting, I think Jason Landry and Daniel.
Yeah.
I do, so.
The Jason Landry one, the fact that his dad's a pastor, that one, I can feel it. I understand
he
that.
was going home for Christmas and it's been 10 months. And, I was going to tell you that because you were talking about people missing. My brother, I had told you before, was messed up in everything. And from the time he was 14, he was in trouble. And, he would disappear for 10 months, a year at a time. And we hadn't heard. He always called home on Mother's Day, though, because his birthday was right at that time. So that year he had not. And I was watching something on TV and they said that the Alabama State Patrol right across the border was looking for someone who might help identify a man who was hit and killed by a truck walking on the highway. And they said that when he was at the truck stop, that he told them that he went by the name Alabama, which was what my brother used to say. And they said he was approximately 50 years old, and I don't know. But they gave a phone number to call, and I was just shaking all over. I was so sure it was him. And so the woman said, well, can you identify him? And I said, he's up, about this tall and he's very thin. And she said, what color was his hair? And I said, well, it's gray, but he always would dye it. So I said, it might be light brown. And she says, no, this is an African-American. And I thought, why didn't you start off with that instead of tearing me apart? So I know what families go through when their families are missing. And we eventually just, sometimes we think, well, he's in a shelter or the Salvation Army's taking him in, or he'd meet somebody in a bar and they'd take him home for a little while and then he'd steal from them and they'd kick him out. Mm-hmm. So, but it's horrible, when you don't know where your family is. So, but yeah, if we had to go through two, I think the thing with the little boys, I think they're alive. And I think some cousin or someone has them somewhere. They had completely different names. The family that adopted them changed first and last name. They very strange first names like Celestial, or somebody else may remember what it is, but it was very non normal names. And so they could easily be under that, and the mother may still have the old birth certificate, so they could be attending school somewhere. But I think they're probably alive, and that it was the family.
I mean, I don't know anything about the case, so I don't want to make any sort of statements, but I'll say, like, from a logical standpoint, that makes perfect sense to me that would happen. You know what I mean? Like, that a family would be upset about the situation.
Yeah. Go get my babies.
Yeah.
You know,
So again, like, I don't want to put words into anybody's mouth. By the way, Avery, thank you for your super chat a second ago. She said viewership dropped by 1,200 when we started talking about Summer Wells. Not you, Diane, but whenever I played the video, it'll drop like flies. That's what I was saying.
Well, you can't turn on YouTube now without it just being.
Well, she was blaming the parents on it because of their crazy behavior. People don't want to hear about it anymore. And because the parents are using it for their own
financial
purposes.
They're trying to get financial gain from it too.
It's different to like what the Petito family is doing. They're getting financial gain, but they're doing it in a way that
to honor her.
Yeah, and it seems like people are questioning what the resources may go to if it goes to the Wells family. And so I think people are like, we are not diving into that. Michelle thank you for being a moderator, and thank you for the super chat. Tyler is the best. Become a Feller family member by clicking on that join button or link in the chat. Thank you, Michelle, for sending that. I love all of the Feller fam, and really looking forward to building.
Now, what time is your scan tomorrow?
It's in the afternoon, and I'm never had an MRI or a brain MRI, so
it's just noisy. Close your eyes before you go in the tube, and just, like I sent you a message and I said ask for music.
Yeah.
And they'll give you headphones, and that's fine for the first. It's very noisy, and it takes about an hour at the most.
Well, I'm not looking forward to it. I'll tell you that much.
Just if you close your eyes, and what I did was I used to quote names of Jesus in the Bible.
Oh, that's good.
And they pulled me out one time and asked me, was I okay? Because I was talking, and I told them what I was doing. And they thought it was pretty strange, I think. But that would just comfort me, because sometimes I would think wonderful counselor, Prince of Peace. And I would know that there was another one that I usually said in that spot. And so I was really concentrating on that instead of paying attention to the MRI. It's totally painless. It's just very noisy. It's clack, 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 clack.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, but if you can get some Christian music going, that'll help for the first half. And then right at the end, nothing.
I don't want them to shoot me full of dye either.
Yeah.
But I guess they have to.
It's not the same thing as a CT dye.
Either way, I don't want anything in my body.
Yeah, I know.
I don't like
this makes stuff light up.
I don't like anything that the Lord didn't make himself personally. That's my philosophy. By the way, Nancy, thank you for that super sticker.
$50. That's amazing.
I appreciate the support and appreciate the super chats, and it is really helpful, and it encourages me to, especially Diane, with this case winding down, I'm like a little just prayerful about, okay, Lord, what do you want to do? And also, thank you for on the Feller fam telling them about my birthday and telling them, and you asked for permission, but giving them an address where they can send a card to or whatever if they want to. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome. I did want to tell you one thing that I heard a forensic anthropologist say about Gabby Petito. He said that as long as her fingernails were intact, that when someone strangles you, your first instinct is to grab and try to pull their hands away. And he said that, with her being out in the weather and stuff for so long, that there's a possibility that her nails could have fallen off. But if you look at the picture of her in front of the butterfly in the long skirt that was taken on the 25th, she'd gotten a haircut, she'd had her hair colored, and she had new nails.
Yeah. And so I knew you had said that, but I was like, how would she know that? Well, I understand now it was because she had roots in her hair
Right.
and then they were covered up. And then
And her
obviously you
hair
can tell
went
about
from
the
down
mess.
here to shoulder length.
Yeah.
And it was,
In other words, she was like excited and happy for
that he
Brian
was
to be
coming
coming back.
home. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the impression I got.
Yeah.
And someone in the hotel, I think it was a busboy, had said, well, she left here all dressed up in heels and jewelry. And then when I looked at it, I noticed no roots. You know, her hair had been cut considerably, and that's not something you can generally do on your own. It looked like a nice haircut. And then it looked like she had gotten a $40 manicure.
Mm.
So if they had done that to her nails, they would have been kept from the water and possibly any, you know, her attackers' skin and epidermis of whatever would be preserved. So, but yeah, that's where I'm getting that. So,
Avery says this, I have verified with Cassie. Brittany is really Roberta's friend and truthful. That's the friend that, which I thought that
remember.
too. But
That
then
was
the
like
other
Mary
Gabby is not
Brian.
Brian's ex, and FBI has asked her to stop posting. That's good to know because I didn't believe it, and somebody had sent me a video about like how they're furious about like I until I had proof of it, I didn't want to do it.
I wonder how Brittany feels now if she had gotten hooked up with Brian and made him angry.
I don't know. That's
Maybe.
funny. She's probably like, this is good that I didn't do this.
Yeah.
This family has a little more skeletons than I thought they might.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, you know, somebody, guardian angel or something.
Thank you, Avery, for that super chat, by the way. And then Casey, welcome to the Feller fam. I kind of thought she was my Mantha/Casey. I kind of thought she was in the Feller fam already, but you're a producer level, so you're for sure a part. So thank you, Casey.
So everyone needs to go listen to your sermon from Sunday. And
Yeah.
I wish you'd have the ones on Sunday night because that was a continuation.
Well, the reason on Sunday night sometimes we don't post it is because I'm super tired usually, and I say things I for sure don't want out in the internet.
Oh.
Honestly,
Oh,
because
dear.
I try to be very careful. Like, you know, one day the Lord may have me become the president of the United States, and they go and they dig up all the stuff in people's closets when that happens. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know I'm sometimes on the stream even saying things I don't mean to, and so I just don't. I don't want to do that. But Sunday morning I felt was like kind of controversial, and so.
Oh, I thought it was excellent. You had so many, both in Feller Fam and on the church website, people saying how much some of them had no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we're just getting started. I got a couple more of those messages.
Well, I've already watched that one twice. So.
That was an introduction to that subject, so it's going to get deeper, I think. Nancy says, "Great message and worship at your church on Sunday. I'll fly away, oh glory, hallelujah, by and by." Kara, who is our female worship leader, she was with our high school students on a trip, so she wasn't there. But Barry did a great job on Sunday.
Barry did a lovely job. He did.
Yeah.
Good choice of songs too. So.
Moonstone, and by the way, Nancy, thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for watching online. Thank you for the second super chat in a row. Moonstone said, "Let's thank God for modern technology in medicine. I'm grateful that you can get further tests, Tyler. You are in so many hearts and prayers." Thank you, Moonstone. I'm grateful for that too. I believe in healing, and the Lord heals people. I also believe in medicine, and the Lord uses that too.
And prayer.
And prayer. I want to do all of it. So
yeah.
And I actually believe, Diane, in medical verification for healing. And so I was a part of helping with this movie release called Sin Proof. It's on www.sinproof.com, but it's about like researching miracles from a medical standpoint and then proving if they're real or not. And I actually prayed for a doctor from Harvard that was healed. And she put it in the beginning of her dissertation about stuff in the cell membrane and pain at that level, about how bad her situation was. And then the Lord healed her. And so it's somewhere in Harvard Medical Journal.
You know, I had some women contact me after I finished my chemo. I had a 50% chance of living 5 years, and it's been 13 years. And I had, I ended up being stage 4 with a spread to my liver. So after my chemo was finished, I had one of the women write me, and she said that they would know when my chemo was. It was supposed to be every other week on a specific day. And so they would assign times, and they would pray for me for like 6-7 hours while I was under chemo. And I never threw up. I never felt sick. I never lost my hair. And, so they said, we didn't know how you felt on healing and the supernatural, and I said, good gracious, bring it on, because I believe in it all. It's in the Bible, and I believe it.
Yeah.
And so I believe that their step of faith kept me from ever getting sick from chemo. I mean, that's horrible stuff.
It is.
And
praise the Lord, the testimony that you have. Kayak Chick says, love it when Diane calls. I do too. Thank you, Diane, for calling in today.
Good to talk to you. I'll be praying for you tomorrow afternoon.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Kim says, I know he's passed, but when I mentioned in chat, many were interested in discussing Jelani Day. His poor mom has had no help and no answers. Maybe one show one day, a lot of interest in this case. That's great, Kim. Can you send me a little primer on it if you don't mind, or if you have a video or something you can link to me? Be very interested in taking a look at it. Thank you so much for the super chat too, by the way. VIP, how are you? Hello?
Oh, thanks. I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. So what are your thoughts?
My thoughts, I was just going to say, dude, I appreciate the fact that you're doing this for missing people and stuff. It's really good. It's really good to have all that coverage for people. I also wanted to say that MRIs aren't that bad. I've had 6 in the past 2 months.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, I've actually got set on to doing infusion treatments now. So
are you doing better?
I'm doing good. I mean, I'm not really. They can't really say I'm doing better. I mean, I got diagnosed with MS, so I have problems with my hands, and I do music. And I would say what I did when I was going through my MRIs with contrast and without contrast, I count all the noises. And I think it's so cool, all the noises that it makes and stuff, because I actually would like to record that and put it in a song and stuff.
Can you are you allowed to take your can you take your phone with you when you're in there?
I don't think you really. I mean, it depends on who your technician is, because it's a magnet, right, that goes around. So I couldn't have my phone with me. I couldn't have my keys with me. Anything that can connect to the magnet, I can't have in there.
I'm putting in the chat right now. Do you know who the band Need to Breathe is?
No.
There's a Christian band called Need to Breathe, and they're really popular. But the one of the guitar players for Need to Breathe had a rare form of MS, and my friend prayed over him, and the Lord totally 100% healed him. And so we have a testimony video of it, and I'll put it in the private chat too, where you can get it. And I want you to watch that video. And then when you watch that video,
that's cool. I'll watch it. Definitely.
Email me, and I'd love to pray over you. But I want you to watch that video first.
Yeah, because I have actually one of my favorite musicians. He was the drummer of Slipknot. He passed away from MS. He had something wrong with his spine, which is MS related, and that's what he passed away from. But I don't know. It's a struggle, but I'm trying to go as good as I can. I mean, Halloween just happened. I had to do Halloween with my son, and I told my mom, I was like, I should have dressed up as a zombie, because the way I walk is almost like a zombie. But it was fun. I mean, my son had fun. So,
well, I believe that the Lord can heal you because I've seen it happen in MS. And that guy, his name's Micah. Now we've even prayed for other people that need healing together and have seen them healed. And he prays for a lot of people that need healing. So I want you to watch that because it will help build your faith. So do you see it? I put it in the private chat.
yeah, I saw it.
And if you click on that, then email me, which is just press@tylerfeller.com, and then remind me who you are. And then I'd love to be able to call you and
Okay.
pray with you. So thank you for calling in.
Yeah, no problem. And just keep up the good work with all these missing people cases. There's actually another person that's missing, and I want to say it's Las Vegas, that has been really popular on news, but not really on YouTube and stuff. And there's only one guy following the case, and the guy disappeared. He's probably gone, but it's just the story's like heartbreaking, dude. It's
Wow.
very, very tough. But he really talks about like how men can actually get abused too, type
Wow.
thing. It's crazy. But okay, yeah, dude, keep up the good work, dude. I've been watching you like forever. So
Well, good. Thank you for calling in. Thank you for being a part of our community here. Don't forget to like the video if you haven't already and subscribe.
okay, yeah, no problem. I already did that. But,
Great. Thank you.
mhm.
I found this thing by this lady named Megan Good today that I thought was really interesting. It's called the Charlie Project. And after there's a missing person for 12 months, she creates a little profile about them. And so she said, think of herself as like a librarian of cases. And so if somebody's still missing, then like she'll write a profile about them. And literally she's done over 15,000. So a lot of the cases we're talking about are not on here because it hasn't been 12 months, but the West boys are coming up on 12 months. So it's potential that would happen. But like, for example, you just go through here and you can just like click on somebody like Angelica Ortega, and then she has a profile about her missing since September 17th. And then Ortega was last seen in Watsonville, California. She's never been heard from again. Few details about this. And so then it goes into that. And I thought it's interesting. So something for sure to look into. Avery says, we no longer celebrate Halloween after I learn more about it from the Bible. Tyler can elaborate if he wants to. Thank you, Avery, for that. Yeah, I just did a sermon on that this past Sunday. You can watch it on my church website if you're interested. And I do think we got to be very careful. It's like some of the stuff that exists in this world, even though it may seem harmless, a lot of it is not. And it's both dangerous and powerful. And if you learn about how to handle it the appropriate way, it can be powerful positively. And if you don't handle it right, it's dangerous for you. And so we got to be really careful with how we handle those situations. Thank you, Avery, for just highlighting that. So look at this if you guys are interested, if there's missing cases on there. And then I found another thing that I thought was really cool. And it's a group of like internet hackers or something. And what they do is they take on missing cases and then they build like team members of 4, and they have these things called search parties. And then they literally do what they can to sort of like find missing people. And it's like, how they do it is interesting, where they make it like a game, but they're actually using real cases in it. And so I found it to be interesting. They're not trying to come up with who did it. They're just trying to find who the missing people are. So far, they've done 320 cases, 35 search parties, and there's over 10,000 people in there. And so it's called Trace Labs. And I found it to be something, if you're a hacker, I'm not a hacker, and I don't think a lot of the people in our community are hackers, but I found it to be something really cool that a lot of people are doing. And so this is just something to be thinking about if you're interested in that. Jen B says, oh, that's awesome. Avery says, that's awesome. So there's some things like that are coming out that I think like I was unaware of until all of this stuff has piqued my interest recently. And so now I'm in this situation where it's like, okay, thank you, Lord, for that. I think we should have another one called People Praying for People to Be Found. Like, there's probably exists somewhere, like asking the Lord for information. Can the Lord reveal it to us? So very interesting. 007 says, but you'll watch about crimes? LOL. Oh, 007. You're afraid to actually deal with reality, so you hide behind a fake image of some James Bond wannabe on the internet because you can't actually be confronted. So you're a keyboard warrior that could never really say that to me with your real identity, unfortunately. Oh, but there's nothing wrong with people being interested in real life situations, especially if you're a Christian. We're supposed to be the light of the world, the salt of the universe. So just for us to be thinking about as believers, we got to do our part in that. Leanne says, get the word out for Kian McLaughlin. Yeah, we've talked about that, Leanne. We just played the video in a few minutes ago. Do me a favor. What I want you to do is type in the comments, out of the 6 cases that we talked about, which one do you think that we should cover? We talked about Summer Wells. We talked about Summer Wells. We talked about Daniel Robinson. We talked about, I got to go to my little picture because I have brain fog. So I need to open it up so I can see what's going on. Okay. Type who you think we should talk about. We talked about Summer Wells. We talked about the football mom, Heidi. We talked about what's his name? Jason Landry. We talked about the West Boys. We talked about Kian McLaughlin, and then we talked about Daniel Robinson. So which of those ones do you think would be a good case for us to talk about? Type it in the comments. Avery says, Tyler, if you were blind, how would you ask me for water? I would say, Avery, could you give me some water? Is that what you're asking me? I would just say, could you give me some water? Thank you for the super chat. Moonstone says, praying for you too, VIP, for strength and healing to come your way so that you can serve the Lord with your special gift. Yeah, incredible. Thank you, Moonstone, for doing that, praying for VIP. It's one of the reasons I want him to watch that video first is because if we watch the video of somebody being healed, it raises our faith. It gives us a little bit more courage in our hearts to believe that the Lord can heal. So, I kind of thought you were a member already. So I guess there's people on here I thought were members of the Feller fam that are becoming members today. So shout out to you, Thank you for joining the Feller fam. Hey, our mods, what does it look like most people are saying in the chat? Is there a consensus? Jen B says Daniel and football mom. Are they both in Southern California? Where's Daniel from? By the way, I want to shout out Casey, Lisa, Terry, April, Charmaine, and Lily for joining the Feller fam today. Kim is saying Daniel. And I wanted to show you guys, too, some stickers that came in. Feller fam stickers. I'm not sure where I'm going to put it. Maybe on the back of my computer. And then you probably can't see this because it's white on white. But it's a Don't Stop sticker. I got a couple of them. And so if you're interested in picking up some stickers or like a Feller fam hoodie or a Don't Stop hoodie or merch, you can go to tylerfeller.com/merch. Tyler passed the biggest TikTok challenge. He was supposed to hand gesture it out so we could laugh. Darn it. Well, I don't watch TikTok ever. I have a TikTok, but I don't even do my own posting on it. Somebody posts on it for me, but I've literally never watched TikTok videos, so I didn't know about that test, but I'm glad that I passed it. I just closed my eyes like, give me some water. That's so funny. I don't know why that is the test, though, but that's so funny. The test should be if you can't talk, right? Because it was if you were blind. Jennifer says, I'm starting a file for Daniel in case everyone wants to cover it. Thank you, Jen. That'd be great. I do think that I do feel like that one's the one that we have sort of the most energy around. So be very, very interesting. My opinion, I do think it's a great case. Where did you guys say that he was from? Daniel and also the mom, happy caffeinated couple says. Christy says Daniel. Renee says Jason and Daniel. Okay, I'll do a poll real fast because by the way, I'm not going to put Summer Wells on the poll just for obvious reasons that I've already stated a few times. Like I just have a feeling in my heart that I'm not supposed to do that case. Writing a question, which case do you think would be good to go deeper on? So let's say Daniel, football mom, her name's Heidi, West Boys. I can only put 4 on here. The thing about Kian is I don't know if he's alive. I'm not gonna put him on the poll either. I'm gonna put Landry, the preacher's son. So I just asked it. I'll give you guys a second to answer it and sort of just get your thoughts on what you think about it. Let's see. Are the results coming in yet? Hopefully you guys saw the poll, have a chance to answer it. Yeah, 48% so far voted for Daniel. If you guys don't mind, go vote in that poll. Let me know what you think. Daniel went missing in Buckeye, Arizona. I was born in Arizona, so I'm interested in things that happen in Arizona. Jen B says Cleo, the girl from Australia, is a good one too. Yeah, I thought about that one, but I don't know. I didn't feel it in my heart. It's a good case, though. All right. Are you guys voting? Mick Rooney says, Tyler, listen to that heart. The case is complex and dysfunctional minefield. Yeah, I think we gotta, if it's called discernment is sort of the way I like to think about it. If you're feeling discernment, you really need to do your best to honor that and listen to that. So let's see. Daniel's winning by like 52% to 15% to 10% to 24%. It was like Daniel's way in the lead. And then Landry's second place, Football Mom's third place, and the West Boys are last place. So, Lily, nobody's judging Summer because of her parents. But what they're saying is it's really hard to want to cover that case because of the situation that her parents are spinning the case for their own purposes, not actually to find Summer. Has nothing to do with Summer. It has to do with the way some people are perceiving her family. And I'm telling you, like, my perception of the case doesn't have to do with that. It has to do with my Holy Spirit insight, what I feel like God's put on my heart. And I felt like the Lord said, don't go down that hole. Okay. Nancy, thank you again for that super sticker. You are a super sticker today. And it's it's a little alligator popping out of a treasure chest. Thank you so much, Nancy, for sending that. Means a lot. Means a lot. Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, the chat did get quieter once we went to subscriber only mode. Well, it's because we're having people on here. They are just saying stuff that I feel like they listen to half of a sentence and then make a judgment about somebody on it, and it's ridiculous. Like, I'm tired of people in our culture listening to half of a sentence or a 30-second soundbite of somebody and then literally painting that person in the most negative way possible. Hey, VIP, how are you? I can't hear you if you're talking.
Oh, I need you to see me that link again, dude, because I'm not familiar with this. So I didn't know I was going to close it down.
Oh, yeah, you got to copy and paste it. I got you, bro. Did you vote on my poll I just made?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I'm putting it in the private chat. You need to copy and paste it. Which one did you vote for?
The preacher's son. Mainly, I would like to know more about that, honestly, before I actually say he's gone or not gone. I mean, some of these you got to really know the context on how they disappear beforehand. I mean,
That's true.
I've been watching a lot of this stuff, like the Summer Wells. I've been watching that from the beginning, and then of course Gabby and all that stuff. I've been watching it from the beginning, but a lot of the stuff you have to know the context before you can make a choice. I mean, to be honest.
You're absolutely right about that.
But okay, thanks. I'm going to say that right now.
Okay, great. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay, I hope you saved that. By the way, Kim, thank you for that super sticker. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Means a lot. So, Janice says, I'm playing solitaire and listening, and I changed my vote to Daniel. All right, great. Hey, the link, I'm going to put the link in the chat if anybody wants to call in tonight, and if there's any thoughts you have or things you want to share about which of these cases. The preacher's son name, I think it's Jason Landry. It's very similar to laundry, isn't it? Landry. Not laundry, but it's close. John. Hey, John. Hope you're having a good day. You say, hey, Tyler, I'm glad that you're looking into missing people. I can't imagine if a loved one in my life went missing. It would feel great to have the Feller family on the case. You all are amazing. You're amazing, John. Thank you for your encouragement in your super chat. And I think, one of the things that I'm interested in doing too is sort of like the same perspective I had on the case that is still ongoing, the Petito laundry case. It's like I want to have a prayerful attitude about the cases and what's going on with some of the families, and if there's a way we can build a personal relationship with the people in the family and really minister to them. So thank you, John. We're going to investigate. We have people who are working on it. I'm working on it. We're going to investigate, but we're also going to pray. Airman says, John, you amaze me all the time. Same with Kathy. I think all you guys are awesome. It's amazing. The community that's being built here really is one of a kind. Thank you guys so much for doing that and just being a part of what we got going on here. And I wanted to show you guys, if you're interested in picking up the Don't Stop book, you can go to tylerfeller.com. Just at the top of it, click on Don't Stop book. And it comes out November 16th, which is kind of scary to me because I worked for years and years and years on this book. And then it's finally coming out and you're like, oh, I hope it's good. I hope people are going to like it. And so you can just go to tylerfeller.com and purchase it. And then eventually the whole thing will be on Amazon. But right now, for some reason, I don't know what's going on with it all. The publishing team and all that, we're working on it. Right now, only the Kindle version is available on Amazon.com. And so you can go to Amazon.com and get the Kindle version, pre-order the Kindle version if you want. So some people like the Kindle version better than the actual version, and it's a little bit cheaper. And then there's another thing. I don't know how it works, so if you're asking me questions on how it works, I don't know. My publishing team sent it to me today, and they're giving away 100 copies of the digital version on goodreads.com. And there's already 100 that just opened it like a little bit ago, and there's already 134 people signed up. So they're only going to give 100 away. But if you're like, man, I wish I could get that book, but finances just aren't going to let me do it right now, you can totally go to goodreads.com and then click on this link or whatever, type in Don't Stop. I don't really know how it works. I'll put the link in the chat if you want to sign up to try to win the free book. I don't know how it works, so don't ask me any questions. I didn't set it up. I'm just listening to what they said. I think I also put that link on my Twitter. I don't know for sure, but I'll make sure I put it on my Twitter too. Melanie says, I want to hear more about what's going on with Gabby Petito. I feel like we're not going to hear anymore. What do you think? Oh, I do think eventually we'll hear more about that case. Like, I think there's going to be information that comes out about what was under her fingernails.
He vanished in June, but his case is just now capturing headlines across.
Sorry, I don't know why it was so loud.
Daniel Robinson's.
The toxicology report of Gabby Petito, and then within the next 1 or 2 days, we'll have, like, everybody that's been following the case with Brian Landry and Gabby Petito, it'll be back rolling again in just a couple of days, because the forensic anthropologist is going to come out with their report, and everybody's going to be wanting to know what was happening with that. So looking forward to that, and we want answers, and so that will be coming out too. But I do think it's going to be a slower trickle of information. I want to know what was in that notebook. I hope we can have that information released to us. So there's just, I think it's a good question. And if we don't get information, we should push for it and fight for it and request it. Nancy Drew says, Grizzly's been doing this. Grizzly's working it out on when she could come on. And the problem is my fault. She can come on anytime she wants. The problem is, like, there are days that I don't feel well and I don't want to come on, and then there are days that, like this week, I have certain things going on that I don't know if I'm going to be able to come on. So I couldn't give her like a for sure day that I'm going to be on, and she told me she was available on Thursday, and I have like 3 things on Thursday, and usually I'm just like in a position where I don't feel very well after I do 3 things, and then I just don't have the energy to come on. So we will see about that. But I am going to have Grizzly come on sometime soon. So, hey, make sure you tell all the mods how much you appreciate them. Let them know that they're cared about. You appreciate the work that they're doing. And, hey, somebody just picked up something from the tylerfeller.com/merch, a full color mug. When you do a merch purchase, I can't see who it is, but I love it whenever I see you guys wearing the gear. So if you purchase, I think we've sold like 70 items from the merch store. So if you purchase something from the merch store, Feller Fam or Don't Stop, then let me know. And like, I want to see a picture of you wearing it, because it blows my mind that happens, that you guys like, boom, wear stuff that was just an idea at one point. So it is really awesome. And speaking of people, Southern Gal Jinjin, I saw a picture of her wearing the Don't Stop hoodie, and it was really cool to see that. So Melanie says, mods, you're doing a great job. Mods, you rock. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Feller Fam. Well, so I'm going to pray for you guys, and then be back. I should be back tomorrow. It'll probably be late, because there's a situation that I am having a health thing going on tomorrow. So it'll probably be pretty late. Sherry, thank you for becoming a member of the Feller Fam. Amazing. Thank you for doing that. And also, Melissa just purchased the Don't Stop book. Thank you, Melissa, for doing that. And Kathy says, it was me. I got the Don't Stop mug. Yay. I got the Feller Fam mug, and I should have been drinking from it so you guys can see it. But it was a really cool, it's a cool mug. So, all right, let me pray over you. I'm going to pray for healing for you, and I want to pray for all these missing cases too. So, Father, in the mighty name of Jesus, thank you for this tonight. We had a great conversation where you revealed to us 6 people that were missing. And Lord, I pray that answers will be found. Lord, I pray they're found alive. The answers for families that are anxious or mourning or waiting will get the things that they've been searching for. You tell us, Lord, we can ask you, and you'll tell us remarkable secrets of things not yet known. Would you give us answers about this situation? And Father, I pray for any person that's watching this that has any sickness in their body, any cancer, any pain, any sickness. In the mighty name of Jesus, we speak total and complete healing in their body. We tell pain to go. We tell sickness to go. In Jesus' name, we speak healing over them. Amen, amen, amen. Hey, thank you guys for being on the stream with us tonight. And I will see you guys tomorrow.